there is more than just one path to success. Many must go their own way and forge their own destinies. Traversing a path of hard work with diligence. Enduring through times of trial and struggle. Learning to persist, to hold on, to never give up. From a spirit of fortitude, rooted in determination, a strong foundation for success is built, growing from strength to strength with perseverance and persistence. From humble beginnings, founded on an unfailing belief in a single commodity, IOI's oil palm plantation business is the heart of our company. With over 230,000 hectares of planted area in Malaysia and Indonesia and still growing, we are one of the largest plantation companies in the country. IOI has grown into a global enterprise, with operations in 8 countries, exporting to more than 85 countries worldwide. Our hands-on management and commitment to productivity has led us to being recognized as one of the industry's most cost-efficient palm oil producers. Our relentless pursuit for new opportunities for growth has also made IOI one of the largest vertically integrated palm oil companies in the world. From plantation to downstream manufacturing, our refineries in Malaysia and the Netherlands play an important role in the midstream segment of our supply chain. In the downstream manufacturing segment, we are one of the world's largest oleochemicals and palm-based fatty acid producers, with production facilities in Malaysia and Germany. Our ester plant in Germany is one of the exclusive few in the world, which is both GMP certified and US FDA approved to produce chemical ingredients for pharmaceutical application. IOI is also a major global player in specialty oils and fats, with operations in the Netherlands, United States, Canada, Ghana, China, and Malaysia that are carried out by its associate company, Bunge Loders Croklaan. Leveraging on its more than 120-year-old history, expertise in lipid solutions, and state-of-the-art facilities, Bunge Loders Croklaan delivers reliable and quality products for the global food and infant formula manufacturing industry. IOI believes in the transformative power of technology and progressively invests into research and development to enhance our commitment to quality. IOI Palm Biotech has spearheaded planting material improvements for nearly 3 decades. Its tissue culture laboratory is leading research in high-yielding oil palm clones, boosting its plantation productivity through biotechnology. Continuing our commitment towards R&D and innovation, our downstream manufacturing business has formed collaborations with world-class partners who value our expertise and know-how. Together, we work to create customized and value-added solutions for our clients in unique and specialized settings, such as our creative studios. IOI is led by a loyal workforce from more than 25 countries who strive daily to increase value add and deliver results for our customers and shareholders. Across every division and country in which we operate, we value and promote diversity among our employees. At every level, we are committed to developing our personnel by fostering a healthy learning environment and promoting their career advancement. As a responsible corporation, IOI is mindful of our corporate responsibilities towards our stakeholders and the community. We take pride in our long tradition of implementing sustainable and sound agronomic practices. We also make efficient use of natural resources and minimize the environmental impact of our operational activities through various energy-efficient and waste reduction measures. As a founding member of the Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil, IOI leads the way in adhering to the highest standards for sustainable palm oil production and in promoting the use of sustainable palm oil around the world. We also strive to build a reliable and traceable palm oil supply chain for the benefit of our customers across the globe. Our consistent efforts in sustainability and good management practices have been well recognized in the industry and accorded many prestigious accolades. While we have made great strides in growing our business in a sustainable and responsible way, we believe in continuing and increasing our efforts towards excellence in everything we do. We strive for a future where IOI steadily expands its reach and increases its value add. A future where we continue to be a crucial presence in the daily lives of people around the world. Fulfilling our purpose for leadership and excellence, we intend to conquer new horizons and forge a better and brighter future for our group. There is more than just one path to success. Many must go their own way and forge their own destinies. Traversing a path of hard work with diligence. Enduring through times of trial and struggle. Learning to persist, to hold on, to never give up. From a spirit of fortitude, rooted in determination, a strong foundation for success is built, growing from strength to strength with perseverance and persistence. From humble beginnings, founded on an unfailing belief in a single commodity, IOI's oil palm plantation business is the heart of our company. With over 230,000 hectares of planted area in Malaysia and Indonesia and still growing, we are one of the largest plantation companies in the country. IOI has grown into a global enterprise, with operations in 8 countries, exporting to more than 85 countries worldwide. Our hands-on management and commitment to productivity has led us to being recognized as one of the industry's most cost-efficient palm oil producers. Our relentless pursuit for new opportunities for growth has also made IOI one of the largest vertically integrated palm oil companies in the world. From plantation to downstream manufacturing, our refineries in Malaysia and the Netherlands play an important role in the midstream segment of our supply chain. In the downstream manufacturing segment, we are one of the world's largest oleochemicals and palm-based fatty acid producers, with production facilities in Malaysia and Germany. Our ester plant in Germany is one of the exclusive few in the world, which is both GMP certified and US FDA approved to produce chemical ingredients for pharmaceutical application. IOI is also a major global player in specialty oils and fats, with operations in the Netherlands, United States, Canada, Ghana, China, and Malaysia that are carried out by its associate company Bunge Loders Crocland. Leveraging on its more than 120-year-old history, expertise in lipid solutions, and state-of-the-art facilities, Bunge Loders Crocland delivers reliable and quality products for the global food and infant formula manufacturing industry. IOI believes in the transformative power of technology and progressively invests into research and development to enhance our commitment to quality. IOI Palm Biotech has spearheaded planting material improvements for nearly 3 decades. Its tissue culture laboratory is leading research in high-yielding oil palm clones, boosting its plantation productivity through biotechnology. Continuing our commitment towards R&D and innovation, our downstream manufacturing business has formed collaborations with world-class partners who value our expertise and know-how. Together, we work to create customized and value-added solutions for our clients in unique and specialized settings, such as our creative studios. IOI is led by a loyal workforce from more than 25 countries who strive daily to increase value add and deliver results for our customers and shareholders. Across every division and country in which we operate, we value and promote diversity among
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the board, I welcome you to the 52nd Annual General Meeting of IOI Corporation Berhad, which is today held virtually and in compliance with Section 327 of the Companies Act 2016 and Article 70 of the company's constitution. The conduct of this virtual AGM is also in accordance with the guidance note on the conduct of general meetings for listed issuers issued by the Securities Commission. In view of the COVID-19 pandemic, and with the safety of our shareholders and employees being of primary concern, your board has considered all available options and decided that the 52nd AGM to be conducted virtually via remote participation and electronic voting facilities without physical attendance by shareholders. As we embrace the new norm, I thank all of you for your virtual presence and continuous support for the company. Today, with all my fellow directors who are indeed very happy to connect with you and answer any queries that you may have related to the company and the agenda of today's meeting. For expediency, we will deal with the questions from shareholders after all the agenda items have been tabled. All questions, and for questions which are related or similar in nature, we will group the questions and provide in a single response. Before proceeding, let me introduce my fellow directors and members of the senior management in attendance today. With me at this broadcast venue and seated apart to observe physical distancing rules are our Managing Director and Chief Executive, Dato' Lee Yao Chaw, followed by our Company Secretary, Mr. Vincent Tan, and followed by Dato' Karuna Karan. Next is our Group CFO, Mr. Kong Kian Beng, followed by Tan Sri Dr. Rahmat. Next is Mr. Chia Tek Kwang, followed by Dr. Kalaniti and Mr. Lee Yao Sek. Also present at this broadcast venue is the audit partner of BDO PLT, Mr. Tan Seng Chun, and the audit director of BDO PLT, Mr. Wong Wen Ping. I wish to advise that under Article 65 of the company's constitution, the quorum necessary for the transaction of business at a general meeting shall be 2 members present personally or by proxy or by corporate representative entitled to vote. The company secretary has confirmed that the requisite quorum is present, and I shall now call the meeting to order. Ladies and gentlemen, the notice of AGM has been issued and published within the stipulated time and advertised in the New Straits Times. We shall take the notice as read. In my capacity as chairman of the meeting, I have been appointed as a proxy by some shareholders and will be voting in accordance with their instructions. In compliance with the main market listing requirements of Bursa Malaysia Securities Berhad, all ordinary resolutions set out in the notice of AGM will be voted by poll. Therefore, as chairman of the meeting, I hereby demand a poll to be taken on all the resolutions pursuant to Article 73 of the company's constitution. The company's poll administrator, boardroom share registrar Sindra Berhad, will conduct the electronic polling, and Sky Corporate Services Sindra Berhad will act as independent scrutineers to validate the votes cast at this meeting. The representative of the boardroom share registrars, our poll administrator, will now play a short video presentation on the functions available within Lumi online portal.
Dear shareholders, thank you for your participation at today's virtual meeting. On this virtual meeting platform, you will be able to view the live broadcast of the meeting proceedings, pose questions to the Board of Directors, and submit your votes in real time while the meeting is in progress. To view the live broadcast of the meeting, please click this broadcast icon. If you are participating in this meeting via a laptop or desktop, the live broadcast panel can be viewed side by side with a voting panel. To maximize the broadcast panel, please click here. Audio of the live broadcast will continue to play in the background, even during the voting process or when the broadcast panel is being minimized. Do adjust the volume control on your device for optimum audio output. please click this arrow to return to the main meeting screen. You can minimize the broadcast panel by clicking this broadcast icon again. Should you encounter any issues with the broadcast view, please refresh the page by clicking this refresh icon. If you have any questions for the Board of Directors, you may raise them at any time before or during the meeting. To do so, please click on this messaging icon, type your question within the chat box, and click on this arrow to submit your question. A message will appear that your question has been received. To return to the main meeting screen, click on this icon. To view the resolutions for this meeting and submit your votes, please click on this voting icon. Once the voting has opened, the resolutions and voting options will be displayed. To vote, please select one of the available options, for or against. A confirmation message will appear to indicate that your vote has been received. To change your vote, please click on the other option. A confirmation message will appear to indicate that your new voting direction has been received. If you wish to cancel your vote, please click on Cancel. You may change your voting direction at any time before the chairman closes the voting session. Once the chairman announces that the voting session is closed, you will not be able to change your voting direction anymore. You may click on the broadcast icon to return to the live broadcast screen for the announcement of voting results. Should you require any assistance during the virtual meeting, please call Boardroom's help desk at 603-7890-4700 or email us at bsr.helpdesk@boardroomlimited.com. Thank you and have a pleasant day.
Thank you, Boardroom Share Registrars. Ladies and gentlemen, online voting is now open to all shareholders to cast their votes during the meeting proceedings. Please note that voting can be done at any time during the meeting proceedings until the completion of question and answer session. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now share our group's financial performance presentation, which will be presented by our group CFO.
Thank you, Tan Sri Chairman. FY 2021 revenue increased by 44% to 11.3 billion ringgit. The increase was due to higher CPO and PK prices. FY 2021 profit before tax increased by 110% to 1.74 billion ringgit. The increase is due mainly to higher profit from both plantation and resource-based manufacturing business. Also included in FY 2021, profit before tax was an unrealized transaction gain on foreign currency denominated borrowings of 125 million ringgit, compared to an unrealized translation loss of 208 million ringgit in FY 2020. Profit after tax was at 1.42 billion ringgit for FY 2021, up 135% from FY 2020. The EPS for FY 2021 was at 22.3 cents per share. For FY 2021 segmental profit, the plantation business contributed 64% of the total segmental profit, while the resource-based manufacturing was at 36%. These percentage contributions were relatively the same as FY 2020 percentage contribution. FY 2021 plantation segment profit increased by 508 million ringgit or 72% to 1.21 billion ringgit. The higher profit was mainly due to higher CPO and PK prices, partially offset by lower FFB production. Average CPO price in FY 2021 was at 3,076 ringgit per metric ton, an increase of 762 ringgit per metric ton over FY 2020 prices. FY 2021 FFB production has recorded a 5.7% reduction compared to FY 2020. The FFB reduction was due mainly to shortage of workers as a result of government-imposed restriction freeze on migrant workers, COVID-19 related restrictions, as well as the ongoing accelerated replanting activities in Sabah region. FY 2021 resource-based manufacturing profit increased by 283 million ringgit, or 74% to 668 million ringgit. The higher profit was mainly due to higher share of associate results from loaders, which included a share of one-off gain of 268 million ringgit from the sale of its refinery in Rotterdam, as well as better performance, partially offset by lower contribution from all sub-segments due to lower margins. The lower margins were due to higher feedstock prices, higher freight charges, stiff competition from Indonesian downstream players due to their favorable CPO tax structures. The group's FY21 balance sheet remains strong. The group has high level of liquidity with cash and cash equivalent of 2 billion ringgit and a low net gearing ratio of 29%. For CapEx, in total, we have spent close to 408 million ringgit in FY 2021, which is relatively similar to FY 2020 capital expenditure. For dividends, the group has declared in total 10.5 cents per share in FY 2021, with a total dividend payout of 657 million ringgit. The group has also spent in total 73 million ringgit in share buyback. This is the end of my presentation. I now pass it back to Tan Sri Chairman for him to conduct the rest of the meeting's agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kong Kian Beng, our Group CFO. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now proceed with the agenda for today's AGM. I will read out all agenda items before we proceed to the question and answer session. The first item on the agenda is to receive the audited financial statements for the financial year ended 30th June 2021 and the reports of the directors and auditors thereon. The audited financial statements are laid in accordance with Section 340 of the Companies Act 2016 for discussion only and do not require shareholders' approval. Hence, it will not be put for voting. Summary of the group's financial overview and performance highlights for the financial year 2021 are set out on pages 52 to 55 of the annual report. Further details of the group financial and business review are outlined on pages 56 to 71 of the annual report. For shareholders who are keen to read more about our group's sustainability matters, please refer to our standalone sustainability report, which is made available on our website. Now let us move to the second item on the agenda, which deals with the re-election of Dr. Nasadurai Kalaniti, who retires in accordance with Article 97 of the company's constitution, and being eligible, have offered herself for re-election. Her profile is set out on page 77 of the annual report. Dr. Nasadurai Kalaniti has undergone performance evaluation for the financial year under review and has demonstrated that she remains committed to her role and continue to be effective and valuable valuable member of the board. The third item on the agenda, which deals with the re-election of our directors, Dato Karuna Karan, alias Karuna Karan, anak lelaki Ramasamy, and Mr. Chia Tek Kwong, who retire in accordance with Article 91 of the company's constitution, and being eligible, have offered themselves for re-election. Their profiles are set out on page 76 of the annual report. Both Dato Karuna Karan and Mr. Chia have undergone performance evaluation for the financial year under review and have demonstrated that they remain committed for their roles and continue to be effective and valuable members of the board, of your board. The fourth item on the agenda is to approve the payment of directors' fees, inclusive of board committees' fees, of Ringgit Malaysia 1.28 million for the financial year ending 30th June 2022, payable quarterly in arrears after each month of completed service of the directors during the financial year. The fee structure is disclosed on page 93 of the annual report. The fifth item on the agenda is to approve the payment of directors' benefits other than directors' fees of up to 200 Ringgit Malaysia 280,000 for the period from 26 October 2021 until the next annual general meeting. The directors' benefits payable for the said period comprise of allowances, insurance coverage, and golf privilege benefit for independent non-executive directors. The Ringgit Malaysia 280,000 is an estimated maximum amount. The actual amount of the directors' benefits will be known only at the time of the next AGM. Now let us proceed to the sixth item on the agenda. That is to reappoint BDO PLT as auditors for the financial year ending 30th June 2022 and to authorize the Audit and Risk Management Committee to fix their remuneration. This resolution is proposed by your board based on its Audit and Risk Committee's recommendation, and having been satisfied with the results of the annual assessment of BDO has expressed their willingness to continue in office. The audit engagement partner of BDO, Mr. Tan Seng Chun, and the audit director, Mr. Wong Wen Pin, are present at today's AGM. They are available to answer any questions relating to their auditor's report. The proposed resolution under item 7.1 of the agenda are to seek approval for Dato Karuna Karan and Mr. Chia Tek Kwong to continue to act as independent non-executive directors of the company until the conclusion of the next AGM of the company. Dato Karuna Karan, who joined the board on 17th January 2011 as an independent non-executive director has served a cumulative term of more than 9 years. And shareholders' approval has been sought at the last AGM to allow him to continue in office until the conclusion of this AGM. Mr. Chia, on the other hand, was appointed as an independent non-executive director on the 22nd of August 2012, and therefore has served a cumulative term of more than 9 years. And shareholders' approval had been sought at the last AGM to allow him to continue in office until the conclusion of this AGM. Their profiles are set up on page 76 of the annual report. Your board has had, through its Governance, Nominating and Remuneration Committee, assessed the independence of both Dato' Karunakaran and Mr. Chia, and was of the view that their retention as independent non-executive directors are in the best interest of the company. Details of the board's justification and recommendation are set out on page 122 of the annual report. I shall take the text of the resolution in the notice of this meeting as having been read. The next item on the agenda is the proposed ordinary resolution to seek renewal of a general mandate, which, if passed, will empower the directors to allot and issue shares of not more than 5% of the total number of issued shares of the company for such purposes as the directors consider would be in the best interest of the company. I shall take the text of the resolution in the notice of this meeting as having been read. For shareholders' information, the company did not issue any new shares pursuant to Section 76 of the Companies Act 2016 under the general mandate which was approved at the last AGM of the company. The proposed ordinary resolution under item 7.3 of the agenda is to seek renewal of the authority of the company to purchase up to 10% of the total number of issued shares of the company. The details of the proposed renewal of the existing share buyback authority are stated in Part A of the circular to shareholders dated 27 September 2021. I shall take the text of this resolution in the notice of this meeting as having been read. Item 7.4 of the agenda is to seek from the shareholders the renewal of shareholders' mandate for the recurrent related party transactions of a revenue or trading nature, which are necessary for day-to-day operations involving the interests of directors, major shareholders, or person connected to the directors and/or major shareholders of the company and its subsidiaries. I shall take the text of the resolution in the notice of this meeting as having been read. The interested directors, interested major shareholders, and persons connected to them are set out in Part B, Section 12 of the circular to shareholders dated 27 September 2021. These interested parties, together with persons connected to them, shall abstain from voting on this resolution. Item 8 of the agenda is to transact any other business of which due notice shall have been given. I have been informed earlier by the company secretary that there is no other business to be transacted. Ladies and gentlemen, since all resolutions have been tabled, I shall now open the question and answer session. We have received a letter from Minority Shareholders Watch Group on their questions for our AGM. For the benefits of shareholders, let me invite our Managing Director and Chief Executive, Dato' Lee, to present our answers to MSWG's questions.
Thank you, Tan Sri Chairman. So I shall invite the Company Secretary, Mr. Vincent Tan, to read out the questions, and then I will answer the questions one by one. So, Vincent, please.
Okay. As part of the group's replanting program, over 7,000 hectares of past prime trees were replanted during financial year ended 2021 with higher yielding oil palm planting materials. However, the replanted area was short of the group initial target to replant by about 12,000 hectares due partly to restrictive measures contained in the pandemic-related SOPs. Question one, continue with that, is what is the group current progress on replanting, and will the group be able to achieve its target replanting schedule for financial year ending 2022?
Yes, thank you. So the group has got 10-year replanting program. So under this 10-year replanting program that we revise every year, of course, but lasting 10 years, our targeted replanting for FY 2022 was about 11,000 hectares. However, as you know now, we are enjoying a very high price palm cycle for CPO. In fact, palm prices are at a historical high. So we have decided to delay some of the replanting for this year. So for this year, we are likely to only achieve a replanting area of about 8,000 hectares. But nevertheless, this 8,000 hectares is still considered quite sizable because it is about 5.1% of our total Malaysian planted hectarage. So the usual, if you look at other groups, normally the usual replanting rate is about 3 to 3.5%. Thank you.
The group aims to reduce plantation workforce by more than 25% through the implementations of various estate mechanizations and digitalization program. To date, the group's plantations workforce has been reduced by how many percent?
Okay, I think there's a short answer. So somehow the workforce in the plantation today we have reduced it from the earlier before the pandemic by about 20%. And that, of course, also coincides with the start of the 5-year plan, the group's 5-year plan, which was in February or March last year, just before the pandemic. So it seems that we have made a very good progress on this target of 25% reduction within a short space of 1.5 years. But I want to say that part of it is unintended because of the restrictions due to the pandemic, where new foreign workers are not able to come into the country. So partly we are forced to reduce our workforce, and and therefore, unintentionally, partly, we are now at about 20% less workforce than before the pandemic.
Okay. Next question. What is the estimated budget allocation for estate mechanizations and digitalization programs for financial year ending 2022?
Of course, I mentioned earlier, partly unintentionally due to the pandemic restrictions on entry of foreign workers, but also, of course, intentionally we wanted to reduce the number of workforce under the 5-year plan, and that is chiefly through mechanization and digitalization. So the expenditure on mechanization and digitalization, I will divide into 2 parts. One is the CapEx, capital expenditure, which means we buy all the equipment, the PC or the mobile devices for digitalization. For mechanization is the, of course, all the bins and the trailers and lorries, etc. For operational expense, this refers to, because sometimes we don't just buy the machine outright. We also rent the machines and for digitalization, operating expenses also refers to the annual recurring maintenance charges on the software. So I go to mechanization first. So for mechanization, the capital expenditure for this financial year, we are targeting about 7 million ringgit. And then operational expenses is 19 million ringgit, 19. So operational is much higher than the capital expenses. For digitalization, the capital expense is 8.3 million. And then for operating expenses is 11 million ringgit, all in ringgit. So what does this mean? So actually this is already an accelerated, we have already accelerated our mechanization program from the earlier envisaged 5-year program. And now we have shortened it to a 3-year program, or maybe even less. So today we probably achieve about 50%. 50% of our operating units would have achieved mechanization at the FFB mainline evacuation part. FFB mainline evacuation part, not the entire process, which includes the actual harvesting and or spraying or manuring application. But the evacuation mainline from the field road to the mills, we have achieved 50% mechanization. Thank you.
Next question is, the group has awarded contract for the construction of a palm wood factory to convert oil palm trunks into high-performance palm wood boards and panels. The factory is targeted to be completed by end of 2022, as per page 17 of the annual report. What is the estimated cost of the constructions and capital expenditure to be incurred for the palm wood factory?
Yeah. I must say we are quite excited by this palm wood venture. So this is probably the first venture in Malaysia that converts the palm trunk, which is normally just left to rot after replanting, and now we convert it into, I would say, high performance, value added wood blocks and particle boards. So this will be mostly for furniture use and also for building materials. And we think that it is a very good product because it is hardy, and also it is, of course, very in line with today's what we talk about, the circular economy. So that means repurposing waste or byproducts into value-added products. The question is on the estimated construction cost for this palm wood factory, and so we estimate it will cost about 110 million ringgit, 110 million. But that is for the first phase. So we hope that with the success of this palm wood venture, we want to expand it further, and we think the potential is tremendous, because it will not be just converting the palm wood, the palm trunk from our own replanting, but also from so many other plantation groups that are doing heavy replanting at the moment.
All right. This second part of the questions on relating to the palm wood project. Now, where does the group plan to market its palm wood boards and panels to?
Yes. So earlier I mentioned that it is, so we intended for it to be used in the furniture and building materials. So for furniture, we are targeting the Malaysian furniture manufacturers. So they actually, in spite of the pandemic, the Malaysian furniture manufacturers are doing well during the so far in this year. So it's projected that they will export approximately 13 billion worth of furniture this year. So we are going to sell to these furniture manufacturers. But beside that, also because of this this positioning as a green product, so we would also want to sell it to countries such as Europe, USA, and of course nearer to home, China.
All right. Move on to the next questions. Inventory written down to net realizable value increased significantly to 16.4 million ringgit Malaysia versus 2020 ringgit Malaysia 2.7 million. As per note 10 of the to the financials report. Now, what is the nature of this inventory that have been written down? Are the inventory written down still saleable?
Okay, so MSWG has read the annual report very carefully, very thoroughly. So yes, we did have this inventory write down to net realizable value of 16.4 million. So this relates mostly to our final products, which is the oleochemical products. But this is purely a reflection of the market price of the raw material. So if you the reference date is end of June. So if you recall, actually there's a big difference between the May and June price this year, so in palm oil. So in May, for example, CPO was at about 3,800 ringgit in May. Then in June, I beg your pardon, in May, CPO was quite high at 4,600 ringgit in May. And then suddenly in June, it dropped to 3,800 ringgit per metric ton. So because of this raw material movement, which is quite sharp, so accordingly the product value the inventory is written down. But the products are still sellable. They are just part of our normal range of products. Thank you.
Thank you, Dato' Lee.
So I think we now move to the part where I think there are other questions that shareholders have posted onto our screen here. So Tan Sri Chairman, if you don't mind, I will invite the company secretary to read them out, and I will answer them, or I will ask the other of my management team to answer.
Sure.
Sure. So can you?
Okay. We have received some questions from shareholders. First questions from shareholders, Mr. T. Questions. is hope this year the company will consider giving some door gifts or e-voucher to all the shareholders and proxy attending this very costly live streaming AGM and remote voting as a token of appreciations for their attendance. Your kind and positive response on this matter is very much appreciated.
Okay. So thank you for the question. So I think we have considered this. I think it was a suggestion from last year as well. But we look at all the issues relating to this, the e-vouchers, because we'll see that we expect that there will be a lot of disputes as to who have clocked in, to the meeting, to the portal meetings. Some will say that they have clocked in and then our record doesn't show it. And we have so many shareholders that we have to contend with. And then there will be issues as to which e-tokens are they on, if at all. So then they have download the apps, the relevant apps, etc. So it's a lot of administrative things, which I think, so already, I think our company secretary is quite overburdened with all the administrative things, even to organize this online AGM or virtual AGM, which involves a lot of administrative refinements. So therefore, considering all this, I think, so we think that the administrative problem associated with this, giving these e-vouchers, I think it's not worth, it's too much for us to implement this. So, but to me, I think I want to say that we always appreciate the attendance of the shareholders at AGMs. And I would like to still encourage you to attend the AGMs, in spite of not having e-vouchers or door gifts. I believe this is the right of the shareholders that you should exercise, and it's only once a year. So I hope you will still continue to attend the meeting and exercise your rights as a shareholder of the company. Thank you.
Thank you. Move on to second questions. As we are in the phase 4, will IOI Group hold a physical AGM next year?
Okay, so next year is a long time away. Last year, this time, we didn't know, we had completely no idea what was going to happen during that 1 year. So you're asking me to say what is going to be happening next year. So what I can say is that next year, if the situation improves further, which of course we all hope and expect it to, then we might consider a hybrid kind of AGM. Okay, of course, I must say that this has not been discussed among the board members. This is only my personal opinion. So I think a hybrid AGM would be a good mixture between. So it will also it allows those who want to come physically, but also importantly, because of today's technology availability. So those who don't want to take the trouble to come, but yet interested to know about the company's affair and exercise their rights as a shareholder, so then they have a choice of going online. And we find that actually there were a lot of questions on going online during the last year's AGM, which was held virtually as well. So we hope that this would be a good kind of hybrid model that allow these online participants, the shareholders, to participate through their online presence. Thank you.
All right. Another shareholder, Ong Sing Yi, asks, how does the company plan to encourage the participation of new and young investors and shareholders?
Yeah. So to a certain extent, I already answered the question. That online platform, I think encourage that to encourage the younger shareholders to do that. And in fact, I find that there were more questions last year in the AGM from this through the online than through physically. So yeah. So thank you. Next question, please.
Okay. We move on to question from shareholder, which is much more on the clarifications. Did I hear right, the chairman mentioned for ordinary resolution 7 and 8, non-independent, non-executive director, contrary to the text broadcast? Just for the clarification to avoid any confusions. Yeah, this I can answer probably. The resolutions are set up in the notice is correct, and the directors that the designation is independent, non-executive directors. Next questions is from Mr. Lim. Kindly, the board explain, since the lockdowns last March 2020, why is the company is paying golf allowance for its director who can't play golf during such period? It makes no sense, yeah, for waste of company resources, more so during the slow business environment.
Okay, let me take this question. I would just like to mention here that it is not as if the whole period of lockdown or since March last year that we couldn't play golf. There are periods where golf activities are allowed, and golf, our golf course that is normally used for us is non-independent, non-independent directors. Sorry, independent non-executive directors to play golf is the Palm Resort, the Palm golf course here in the IOI Resort. So whenever the course is open for play and public can participate in the golfing activities, that is how it is conducted. And as a golfer, I also participated as golfers like any other golfers. I hope that answer satisfied you.
So, thanks, Chairman. I think I can add further to that because I'm not the one of the beneficiary of this because I don't play golf, so I can give a more objective kind of answer. So so actually this is I think what the golf allowance, we are not just paying the golf allowances just like that. It is upon use basis. So every year the company during the board meeting will approve a certain preset amount of golf playing allowances, but that doesn't mean that yes all will be utilized. So for my recollection, FY 2021, the year just passed, actually there was very little claiming of these golf allowances, even though a much higher limit was approved earlier. And this year also similarly we pre-approve because according to Company Act law, we have to pre-approve the allowances. So this year also we pre-approve a certain amount, which assumes, of course, all year playing. But if indeed there were times when the directors can't play or they don't play, then of course accordingly what the company pays out for this golf green fees will be accordingly reduced. Yeah. So actually it's not, the amount is far lesser than what has been shown in the annual report.
All right. I probably just add on to that. I think the actual amount incurred was 14,000 during that financial year ended. It's on the page 93 of the annual report. Now, I move on to the next shareholder's question, Mr. Tan Chi Hao. He asks, the Indonesian governments continue to promote the development of the palm oil downstream sector, which has the Indonesian government continued to promote the development of the palm oil downstream sector. All right, sorry, I think that's a repeated sentence. Which has intensified the competition in the Malaysian downstream player and reduced the profitability of the industry. First question, what is the advantage of the Malaysian downstream players? And probably second one, has the worst come? And third, what have we done to ride on this trend and mitigate the impact?
Yeah. So the first sub-question is what is the advantage? In fact, as is of the Malaysian downstream players, so the straightforward answer is that the downstream players are at a disadvantage compared to the Indonesian downstream players, and that's because in Indonesia there's a cess and there's an export duty, so together they are imposed on the crude palm oil in Indonesia, and Malaysia also has got the export duty on CPO as well, but the quantum is much lesser than Indonesia. So the difference is depending on how the difference in the duties on CPO between Indonesia and Malaysia depending on what kind of products and which month of the year would be is rather substantial. It's ranging between 500 to even 800 ringgit. So that is the advantage, and that's because of that export duty differential. So therefore, the raw material in Indonesia for the downstream players becomes cheaper. It becomes cheaper, and that's the advantage that they have over the Malaysian downstream players. Has the worst come? I think the worst it's not getting worse, but it's still very bad. It's not getting worse, but of course as the palm oil price keep on increasing, maybe the differential might even widen a bit more as well. So we'll see, but I think it's already quite a big difference. How does the Malaysian downstream players deal with this? So of course, the whole global market is of a certain size. So the global market has not reduced in size. In fact, if you talk about for the food, I think the demand is very steady. For oleochemicals, it's mixed. So some part of it is the demand has dropped, but other parts of it, principally like those used for cleaning purpose, sanitizing purpose, hence soap, hand sanitizing, the demand has increased. So overall, the global demand for oleochemicals are still quite steady, and therefore there's still room for Malaysian downstream players to within this global market. But however, the downstream players of course have to adjust their margin so that their difference in price with the Indonesian downstream players are not so wide. So we'll continue to do that, of course. And Malaysian downstream players, of course, are more established, known as more established players in the downstream sector. So, and I take IOI for example. Our oleochemical operation is the first Malaysian palm oil operations in Malaysia, and therefore probably in the world. And we started in 1991, so quite early on. So that's our advantage. We had that sort of pioneer status in the industry, and that linkage to the wide spectrum of multinational customers. Thank you.
All right, we have these follow-up questions from Kupo Chin. While other companies have no problem in issuing door gifts, the answer given by Dato' Lee is not satisfactory. Is the company not able to overcome these problems?
Yeah. So I take note of what the sentiments expressed by the shareholders, but I can't say more. Thank you.
All right. Chairman and Dato' Lee, we don't have any further questions from shareholders at this point in time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dato' Lee. We sincerely thank our shareholders for your participation in this question and answer sessions. Of course, if you feel you want some more clarifications, you can always contact us through our emails or our websites. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if there is no further question now, I shall declare the question and answer session as closed. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now allocate additional 3 minutes for those shareholders who have yet to vote. We anticipate that the counting of votes by the poll administrator and the validation by the independent scrutineers of the results will take approximately 5 minutes after the conclusion of the voting session. In the meantime, we will play our corporate video. The meeting will resume upon receiving the poll results verified by the scrutineers. Ladies and gentlemen, the countdown starts now. For those who have not cast their votes, kindly proceed to do so.
There is more than just one path to success. Many must go their own way and forge their own destinies. Traversing a path of hard work with diligence. Enduring through times of trial and struggle. Learning to persist, to hold on, to never give up. From a spirit of fortitude, rooted in determination, a strong foundation for success is built, growing from strength to strength with perseverance and persistence. From humble beginnings, founded on an unfailing belief in a single commodity, IOI's oil palm plantation business is the heart of our company. With over 230,000 hectares of planted area in Malaysia and Indonesia and still growing, we are one of the largest plantation companies in the country. IOI has grown into a global enterprise, with operations in 8 countries, exporting to more than 85 countries worldwide. Our hands-on management and commitment to productivity has led us to being recognized as one of the industry's most cost-efficient palm oil producers. Our relentless pursuit for new opportunities for growth has also made IOI one of the largest vertically integrated palm oil companies in the world. From plantation to downstream manufacturing, our refineries in Malaysia and the Netherlands play an important role in the midstream segment of our supply chain. In the downstream manufacturing segment, we are one of the world's largest oleochemicals and palm-based fatty acid producers, with production facilities in Malaysia and Germany. Our ester plant in Germany is one of the exclusive few in the world, which is both GMP certified and US FDA approved to produce chemical ingredients for pharmaceutical application. IOI is also a major global player in specialty oils and fats, with operations in the Netherlands, United States, Canada, Ghana, China, and Malaysia that are carried out by its associate company, Bangi Lotus Krokran. Leveraging on its more than 120-year-old history, expertise in lipid solutions, and state-of-the-art facilities, Bangi Lotus Crockland delivers reliable and quality products for the global food and infant formula manufacturing industry. IOI believes in the transformative power of technology and progressively invests into research and development to enhance our commitment to quality. IOI Palm Biotech has spearheaded planting material improvements for nearly 3 decades. Its tissue culture laboratory is leading research in high-yielding oil palm clones, boosting its plantation productivity through biotechnology. Continuing our commitment towards R&D and innovation, our downstream manufacturing business has formed collaborations with world-class partners who value our expertise and know-how. Together, we work to create customized and value-added solutions for our clients in unique and specialized settings, such as our creative studios. IOI is led by a loyal workforce from more than 25 countries who strive daily to increase value add and deliver results for our customers and shareholders. Across every division and country in which we operate, we value and promote diversity among our employees. At every level, we are committed to developing our personnel by fostering a healthy learning environment and promoting their career advancement. As a responsible corporation, IOI is mindful of our corporate responsibilities towards our stakeholders and the community. We take pride in our long tradition of implementing sustainable and sound agronomic practices. We also make efficient use of natural resources and minimize the environmental impact of our operational activities through various energy-efficient and waste reduction measures. As a founding member of the Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil, IOI leads the way in adhering to the highest standards for sustainable palm oil production and in promoting the use of sustainable palm oil around the world. We also strive to build a reliable and traceable palm oil supply chain for the benefit of our customers across the globe. Our consistent efforts in sustainability and good management practices have been well recognized in the industry and accorded many prestigious accolades. While we have made great strides in growing our business in a sustainable and responsible way, we believe in continuing and increasing our efforts towards excellence in everything we do. We strive for a future where IOI steadily expands its reach and increases its value add. A future where we continue to be a crucial presence in the daily lives of people around the world. Fulfilling our purpose for leadership and excellence, we intend to conquer new horizons and forge a better and brighter future for our group.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I have received the results of the poll validated by the scrutineers, and I shall now resume the meeting for the declaration of results. The Secretary will now announce the poll results on my behalf. May I have the poll results on the screen, please?
All right, thank you, Chairman. Resolution 1, 99.9% voted for and 0.001% voted against. Resolution 2, 88% voted for and 11.9% voted against. Resolution 3, 88.2% voted for and 11.79% voted against. Resolution 4, 99.9% voted for and 0.04% voted against. Resolution 5, 99.9% voted for and 0.04% voted against. Resolution 6, 99.9% voted for and 0.09% against. Resolution 7, 87.2% voted for and 12.7% against. Resolution 8, 87.3% voted for and 12.6% against. Resolution 9, 87.6% voted for and 12.3% against. Resolution 10, 99.8% voted for and 0.13% against. Last resolution, 11, ordinary resolution 11, 99.9% voted for and with the 0.01% against.
Ladies and gentlemen, based on the results of the poll, I hereby declare that all ordinary resolutions for today's meeting are duly carried. With that, I now declare the 52nd AGM as concluded. Thank you for your participation and stay safe.
Thanks, Chairman. Yeah, I think we have received one question, which is just now we did not answer it, but even though the Q&A session is already closed, but we hope that we take this opportunity just to address one of shareholders' questions. This is from Mr. Lim. He had asked, had the company assisted a riot who are or were impacted and affected with the ongoing pandemic crisis via food bank aids in kind of corporate social responsible services as done by many public listed companies as well? How much was spent for this if such CSR has done?
Okay, thank you. So I think we'll answer this question even though it's given outside the Q&A session. So the company did make contributions for this such food bank aid and also other welfare for those people, impoverished people who have been affected by the pandemic. So I don't have the exact figure, but it will be around a few 100,000 ringgit for last year. But for the year as a whole, the company's charitable foundation has contributed about 4.1 million ringgit for all its CSR activities, which encompass many different activities. So this is a bit less than prior years, which will be like more like 6 to 8 million ringgit. Thank you.
All right, I hope our shareholder will be satisfied with that answer. With that, I now declare the 52nd Annual General Meeting as concluded again. Thank you. Sorry for that that hitch a bit because the question really came in a bit late. So I see no reason why we have, in the process of trying to be complete and transparent in answering all the questions. So hope you will bear with us in that sense. Thank you for your participation and stay safe.